Hey, my lovely listeners, let me take you on a journey tonight. A journey inward reveals the remarkable machinery of your body, showcasing systems refined over millions of years and processes so elegant they seem almost designed with intention. We're going to explore what happens when you stop eating, not for a few hours between meals, but for 3 full days, 72 hours without food. It sounds dramatic, perhaps even dangerous, but what actually unfolds inside you is a story of adaptation, of ancient survival mechanisms clicking into place, of your body revealing capabilities you might never have suspected it possessed. Before we begin, I want you to get comfortable. Adjust your pillow, let your shoulders drop away from your ears, and allow your breathing to slow and deepen. This is your time, an hour set aside from the demands of the day, screens and notifications, and the endless scroll of modern life. If you're enjoying these explorations into the hidden workings of your body, I'd love it if you subscribed so we can continue these evening conversations together. And I'm always curious, where in the world are you listening from tonight? Are you in a quiet bedroom in the suburbs, an apartment in the city with distant traffic humming below, or perhaps somewhere I've never imagined? Now let's ease in. Let's start with that last meal, which was the first thing that happened. Imagine that you are going to dinner. It could be something easy, like pasta with vegetables or chicken with rice and a salad on the side. You eat until you're full, and that comfortable feeling settles into your stomach. You don't know it yet, but this is the last food you'll eat for 3 days. The clock starts now. Nothing seems out of the ordinary for the first few hours. Your digestive system does what it always does. It breaks down the food you've eaten into its parts. Your stomach mixes everything with acid and enzymes until it turns into a thick liquid called chyme. This goes into your small intestine, where the real work of taking in nutrients starts. Carbohydrates are turned into simple sugars, with glucose being the main one. Proteins are broken down into amino acids, fats are broken down into fatty acids, and glycerol. These nutrients all go through the wall of your intestines and into your blood, where they are sent to every cell in your body. After that meal, your blood sugar goes up, as it always does. This makes your pancreas release insulin, a hormone that acts like a key to open your cells so they can take in glucose from the blood. Your cells use the energy they need right away to keep you thinking, moving, breathing, and keeping your body temperature stable. But here's the interesting part. Your body knows that food doesn't come on a set schedule. We weren't made to eat 3 meals a day and snacks. It got us ready for both feasts and famines, as well as successful hunts that ended with days of searching. So your body has learned how to save for when things are tough. There are 2 main ways that your body stores extra glucose, which is energy you don't need right now. Your liver and muscles first turn some of it into glycogen, which you can think of as tightly packed packages of glucose molecules that are linked together to save space. Your liver can hold about 100 grams of glycogen, and your muscles can hold about 400 grams, but this varies from person to person. The extra energy is turned into fat, which is mostly stored in adipose tissue, which is the fat that is under your skin and around your organs. Fat is a very good way to store energy. It has more than twice the energy per gram as carbohydrates or proteins. After about 4 hours, your digestive system has taken out most of the nutrients from the food you ate. Your blood sugar is going back to its normal level. You've entered the post-absorptive state, which is the time between meals when you're running on stored energy instead of fresh fuel. This is completely normal. You do this every night when you sleep. Your body smoothly switches from using the food you just ate to using the glycogen stored in your liver. It breaks the glycogen down into glucose and releases it into your bloodstream to keep your blood sugar stable. This is important to know because your brain is picky about what it eats. Your brain doesn't burn fat directly like your muscles do. Instead, it mostly uses glucose. It takes a lot of energy to run, even though it only makes up about 2% of your body weight. It uses about 20% of your resting energy expenditure. So keeping your blood sugar levels stable is very important, and your body has smart ways to make sure your brain never goes hungry. During the first 12 hours, you probably sleep for most of that time. Your liver is working quietly while you sleep, breaking down its glycogen stores bit by bit and releasing glucose into your bloodstream at just the right rate for your body. By the time you wake up in the morning and eat breakfast, you may have used up half of your liver's glycogen. If you ate now, you'd fill up those stores and start the cycle over again. But you're not eating. You're still doing this experiment, going into areas that modern life doesn't usually ask us to go. The word breakfast tells a story all by itself, doesn't it? Breakfast, the meal that ends the nightly fast. But today, we're not breaking anything. We're going deeper into that old relationship between eating and not eating to see what happens. At the 16 to 18 hour mark, something interesting starts to happen. Your liver doesn't have much glycogen left. Your body has to make a choice, or rather, it does so automatically without you even being aware of it. It starts to change how it uses energy. This change happens slowly, like turning a dial instead of flipping a switch. Your body starts to use fat more and more for energy, breaking down triglycerides from your fat tissue into fatty acids and glycerol. These fatty acids can be used directly for energy by your heart, muscles, and many other organs. This is good news because it means you can save some of your glucose for your brain. But this is where things get really interesting. Your liver turns some of those fatty acids into something called ketone bodies. These are tiny molecules, mostly beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate, that have a unique quality. Ketone bodies can cross the blood-brain barrier, but fatty acids can't. They can give your brain energy. Ketogenesis is the process of making ketone bodies. When your body is mostly burning fat and making a lot of ketones, it is in a metabolic state called ketosis. At the 18-hour mark, you probably aren't very deep into ketosis yet, but you're getting there. The amount of ketones in your blood is slowly going up at first, then faster as the hours go by. We're now on the second day, which means we've gone 24 hours without food. You might be hungry, that's for sure. Hunger comes in waves, which is interesting. It's not a feeling that gets stronger all the time, it goes up and down. This is partly because hormones like ghrelin are released on a schedule that your body has learnt from how you usually eat. Your body releases ghrelin around 8 in the morning if you usually eat breakfast then. This makes you feel hungry, even if you don't need food. But if you don't eat, the ghrelin level goes down again after a while. The hunger goes away. This might not make sense at first. Shouldn't you get hungrier as time goes on without food? But keep in mind that your body is made for this. Being constantly hungry when food isn't available would be bad for you because it would waste mental energy on something you can't fix. It's better to have hunger come and go, with times when you're very motivated to find food and times when you're calm and can take care of other survival needs. Your liver's glycogen is almost gone by 36 hours. This is a big step forward. Your body is now fully committed to the metabolic shift we talked about before. The breakdown of fat is speeding up a lot. Your fat cells are sending fatty acids into your blood at a faster rate. Your liver is making ketone bodies faster. When you're well fed, your blood ketones are less than half a millimolar. Right now they might be 2 or 3 millimolar. There is also something else going on that sounds scary, but is actually a normal and necessary part of this process. Some of the protein in your body starts to break down. Don't worry, you're not wasting away. You're not eating your muscles at a very fast rate. but your body needs more glucose than the small amount of glycerol that comes from breaking down fat can give it. It can make glucose from some amino acids through a process called gluconeogenesis. This mostly happens in your liver, where amino acids are turned into glucose molecules. What are the sources of these amino acids? Partly because proteins are always breaking down and building up in your body. Your cells are always breaking down old proteins and making new ones. When you're fasting, you're just breaking down a little more than you're building up. But your body is picky about this. It breaks down proteins that aren't as important first, keeping the proteins in your vital organs and to a large extent in your muscles, especially if you've used those muscles recently. This is why even moderate exercise while fasting can help keep your muscles from losing mass. Your body thinks that the signal of muscle use means that those muscles are still needed. You're at the end of the second day after 48 hours. You are now definitely in ketosis. Your blood may have 4 or 5 millimolar or more of ketones in it. Your brain, which we talked about earlier as an organ that needs glucose, is now getting 30 to 50% of its energy from ketones instead of glucose. When you think about it, this is amazing. Like a hybrid car that switches from gas to electric power, your brain has switched fuels. And here's something a lot of people say at this point. Their minds are clear. It doesn't make sense. You haven't eaten in 2 days, but a lot of people say they feel more focused and alert during this time. What could be the reason for this? We don't fully understand how everything works, but we do have some ideas. It looks like ketones are a great source of energy for the brain. They might cause less oxidative stress than breaking down glucose. There are also changes in the levels of neurotransmitters when you fast. Also, you might just feel more balanced and less prone to the energy dips that can happen after eating when your blood sugar is stable instead of going up and down with meals. We should also think about the evolutionary argument, but we should always be careful about just so stories. It makes sense that early humans who became sharper and more focused when they were hungry and who could think more clearly about where to find food and how to get it might have had an advantage over those who became sluggish and foggy. The people who could hunt or gather food better when they were hungry were more likely to find food, break their fast, and live long enough to pass on their genes. It's important to note that something else is going on during these first 2 days. Your metabolic rate, or the speed at which you burn calories, doesn't drop as much as you might think. Some studies even suggest that your metabolism may speed up a little during the first few days of fasting. Changes in hormone levels, especially an increase in norepinephrine, one of your body's stress hormones, seem to be behind this. This makes sense from an evolutionary point of view. When food is hard to find, you need to be alert and full of energy so you can look for it. You don't want to be tired and slow. We're now in the 3rd day, which means we've passed the 48-hour mark and are on our way to 72. This is very deep into the fast, farther than most people in modern developed countries ever go. Your body has completely adjusted to using fat as its main source of energy. Your ketone levels are high. Your blood sugar is lower than normal, but it's still in a safe range. It usually stays around 70 milligrams per deciliter thanks to gluconeogenesis in your liver. Your insulin levels are very low, which makes sense because insulin helps cells take in glucose from the blood, and there isn't much glucose to take in. Low insulin also helps break down fat, so everything is working together, like a symphony of metabolic changes. Autophagy is one of the most interesting things that happens during long periods of fasting. The word comes from Greek, where auto means self, and phagy means eating oneself. It sounds pretty bad, but it's actually a process that cleans and recycles cells. It speeds up a lot when you fast. This is how it works. Your cells gather damaged parts over time, like worn-out organelles, misfolded proteins, and bits of cellular debris. Usually your cells have ways to deal with this, but when there are a lot of nutrients around, these cleaning processes aren't at the top of the list. Autophagy goes up a lot when you fast, especially for long periods of time. Cells start to break down and recycle the damaged parts of themselves, turning them into new molecular building blocks. This has a lot of uses. It cleans up the house and gets rid of damage that could be dangerous. It gives you amino acids and other molecules that you can use in other ways. And it could be one of the reasons why fasting might be good for your health. The study of autophagy won a Nobel Prize in 2016. Most of the research was done on cells and animals, but there is more and more evidence that similar things happen in people when they fast. You're well into the third day by the time you reach 60 hours. You might notice that your hunger isn't as bad as it used to be. A lot of people say that their hunger goes down after the second day. Some of this is probably adaptation, which means your body is getting used to this metabolic state instead of fighting it. The waves of ghrelin release may be getting smaller, and for some people this state is almost like meditation. It gives them a sense of calm and clarity, which may be partly biochemical and partly psychological. It also gives them the satisfaction of proving to themselves that they can do something hard and that they don't need to eat all the time like modern life suggests. Your body is also getting better at saving some resources. Your kidneys are keeping sodium and other electrolytes more carefully. You should be drinking water during this fast to keep your water balance. That's something to keep in mind. When you fast, you don't eat food, but you do drink fluids. Your body needs water to do all of these metabolic processes, get rid of waste, and keep blood volume and circulation up. Some scientists say that your body has reached a steady state of fasting metabolism when you get close to 72 hours. If you kept going past this point, the changes wouldn't be fundamentally different, but they might get bigger. Your body would keep breaking down fat for energy, keeping blood sugar levels stable through gluconeogenesis, and making ketones. If the fast went on for a lot longer, the rate of protein breakdown might go up a little, but it would still be relatively low compared to the rate of fat breakdown. But let's stop here. At the end of 72 hours, 3 full days without eating, what has this test shown? First and foremost, it has shown you how adaptable your metabolism is. You have the ability to switch fuel sources, built into your cells. You can go from burning the food you just ate to burning stored glycogen to burning stored fat without losing the energy your brain needs to work. This isn't a flaw in your design. It's a necessary adaptation that helped your ancestors survive in places where food was hard to find. You've learned that hunger is a real feeling, but it's not an emergency signal. It's something that comes and goes. You know from experience, or would know if you tried this, that you can stay mentally sharp, maybe even sharper than usual, for days without food. Your body hasn't stopped working or gone into crisis mode. Instead, it's just using a different fuel and burning the energy it saved up for this exact purpose. Of course, I should make it clear that not everyone should try fasting for 72 hours. If you have diabetes or another metabolic disorder, are pregnant or breastfeeding, or have a history of eating disorders, extended fasting could be dangerous. It's something that should be done carefully, and if you've never done it before, it's best to have a doctor watch over you. The goal of our journey tonight isn't to tell you what to do to improve your health, but to learn about the amazing things that happen in your body when you stop eating. It's also interesting to think about what happens when you break a fast that lasts for 72 hours. You should be careful when you start eating again, especially if you've been fasting for a long time. It's usually a good idea to start with something light, like broth, or a small amount of food that is easy to digest. For 3 days, your digestive system hasn't been working. Giving it too much food at once, like a big, heavy meal, could make it uncomfortable or, in very rare cases of very long fasting, cause more serious problems. But after a 72-hour fast, most healthy people can start eating normally again, even though their appetite is usually smaller than they thought it would be at first. When you eat again, the metabolic changes we've talked about basically go in the opposite direction. Your blood sugar goes up, insulin is released, ketone production slows down and then stops, fat breakdown slows down, and your body goes back to using glucose as its main fuel. You would be back to your normal metabolic state in a day or so, but the experience might have made you more aware of how complicated your body's energy management systems are. Fasting has been done for religious, spiritual, and health reasons in many cultures throughout history. The Greeks of old thought that fasting could heal people. Fasting is a part of many religions, such as Islam's Ramadan, Judaism's Yom Kippur, and Christianity's Lent. Many indigenous cultures around the world have used fasting as a part of spiritual practices and vision quests. People are becoming interested in fasting again in the modern world. This is partly because it might be good for their health, and partly because food is always available in developed countries, which is something that has never happened before in human history. Some studies show that fasting for short periods of time may have benefits beyond just cutting calories. Research involving animals has demonstrated that intermittent fasting may prolong lifespan, enhance indicators of metabolic health, diminish inflammation, and potentially lower the risk of specific diseases. There is less evidence for humans, but there are signs that similar benefits might exist. Better insulin sensitivity, lower cholesterol and triglyceride levels, lower levels of inflammatory markers, and better blood pressure. Some of these effects might be caused by the increased autophagy we talked about, but we should be careful not to exaggerate these benefits or see fasting as a cure-all. The research is still going on, and not all of it is going in the same direction. People react to fasting in very different ways. What works for one person might not work for another, and it might even make things worse. Many of the possible benefits of fasting could also be gotten in other ways, like eating less, improving the quality of your diet, or working out. The most valuable thing about knowing what happens during a 72-hour fast is not that everyone should try it, but what it teaches us about our bodies. If you're listening to this, you live in a time and place where food is probably plentiful and always available. You're probably never more than a few hours away from your next meal, and you can get whatever you want by driving a short distance or placing an order for delivery. In many ways, this is great. Food scarcity is a horrible thing, and getting rid of it is one of the best things people have done. But this wealth is also very new. For most of the developed world, it's only a few generations old, and in terms of evolution, it's only a blink of an eye. Your body still has the metabolic tools it needs for a world where food was scarce and fasting was a way of life. Seeing how well this machinery works can change the way you think about hunger, eating, and the link between food and energy. You are not always on the verge of starving. You have a lot of energy stored up inside you, and you have advanced ways to get to it when you need it. Isn't there something almost humbling about this? The knowledge that your body has abilities you've probably never used, and systems that keep you healthy and functioning without you having to think about them. Your body is balancing thousands of chemical reactions, keeping your temperature stable, fixing damage, and fighting off possible pathogens right now, even though you're thinking about something else or falling asleep. The story of a 72-hour fast is really about homeostasis, which is the way biological systems try to stay stable while adapting to new situations. Your body wants to keep things like blood pH, core temperature, blood glucose, blood pressure, and many others within a certain range. Your body doesn't freak out when things change, like when food stops coming in. It changes. It uses the resources it has to find new ways to keep those important parameters in place. Of course, this ability to adapt goes beyond just fasting. When you work out, your body gets stronger and builds up its endurance. It makes more red blood cells to get used to high altitudes. It helps you stay warm by making you better at making heat. It gets better at cooling down when it gets hot. You are always sensing, responding, and changing at every level, from cells to organs to systems in the whole body. The processes we've talked about tonight, like storing and breaking down glycogen, breaking down fat, making ketones, gluconeogenesis, and autophagy, are just a few of the many that make up an incredibly complicated web of biological activity. Each one could be the focus of its own lesson or hour of study. The changes in hormones that happen when you fast are interesting on their own. As we said, insulin levels go down, but growth hormone levels can go up by a lot. One of your stress hormones, cortisol, tends to go up. Leptin, a hormone made by fat cells that tells the body it's full, goes down. The hunger hormone ghrelin has the wave-like pattern we talked about. These hormonal changes have effects all over your body, changing not only your metabolism, but also your mood, sleep patterns, immune function, and more. These hormones don't work alone either. They interact with one another in complicated feedback loops. Insulin has an effect on leptin, which in turn has an effect on metabolism and appetite. Cortisol changes how sensitive insulin is. Growth hormone changes how your body uses nutrients. There are dozens of instruments playing parts in a symphony. Sometimes they work together, and sometimes they create tension, but they all work together to keep you alive and healthy. Before we say goodbye tonight, I want you to think about something. In a very real way, you are a walking library of evolutionary solutions to the problems of staying alive. Every system in your body, every metabolic pathway, every hormone, and every enzyme is a solution that worked well enough and consistently enough for millions of years to be passed down to you. It's not a new diet trend or a modern invention to be able to fast for days and still be able to think and move. It's an old gift from ancestors who lived through hard times by having bodies that could change. You don't have to fast for 72 hours though. Not everyone needs to or should test these skills. But knowing they exist and how they work can change how you feel about food and hunger. It can help you feel less anxious about skipping a meal or two. It can help you tell the difference between real hunger, the body's way of telling you it needs energy, and appetite, the desire to eat that can be caused by a lot of things that have nothing to do with energy needs. There are a lot of signs that tell us to eat in today's world. Food ads, the smell of restaurants, the sight of people eating, and even the time of day can all make you hungry. Food is often the main focus of social events. Eating can be a way to deal with boredom, stress, sadness, or celebration. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying food, the social aspects of eating, or the pleasure that food gives you. But it's important to know that eating isn't just about having fun or following social norms. At its core, it's about giving your body the nutrients and energy it needs. And your body is very good at managing energy and keeping things running smoothly even when you eat in a lot of different ways. The 72-hour fast we've been on tonight is really a journey into how flexible our metabolism is. It shows that your body can use different types of fuel depending on what is available. You can learn to be more flexible even if you don't fast for long periods of time. Eating habits that give your body a break from digesting all the time, let insulin levels drop, and start fat-burning processes can help keep and improve this metabolic flexibility. This could mean eating at the same time every day, having longer breaks between meals, or just being less afraid of moderate hunger and seeing it as a normal feeling that can be handled instead of an emergency. Your body is built to be strong and able to handle changes in the environment. Hormesis is the idea that some amount of stress and change, like the stress of working out, changing temperatures, or fasting every so often, may actually be good for you. Mild stresses that your body can handle may make you stronger and more able to handle stress in general. A life with constant comfort, where you never get too hot or too cold, are never hungry, and are never physically challenged, may actually be worse than a life with some variety and manageable challenges that require your body to adapt. As you fall asleep tonight, your body starts its nightly fast, which is like the metabolic processes we've been talking about, but on a smaller scale. Your body will slowly switch from using food you just ate to stored energy while you sleep. Your liver will break down glycogen into glucose and send it into your blood to keep your blood sugar steady. You might make small amounts of ketones by morning if you sleep long enough without eating. This is normal and happens every night at the same time. When you wake up and eat breakfast, which breaks your fast, you'll start the cycle all over again. Food will enter the body, nutrients will be absorbed, some will be used right away, and some will be stored. And then when the food is gone hours later, your body will smoothly switch to using those stores. Your metabolism goes back and forth between these states all the time, usually without you even thinking about it. The body of a person is an amazing thing. You are an amazing thing. You are made up of trillions of cells that work together and talk to each other through chemical signals. They coordinate their activities to make you. These biological processes are what make your conscious awareness, your thoughts and feelings, your plans and memories, and everything else that makes you you. We've talked about how your brain gets the energy it needs to think through the systems we've looked at tonight. Even now, as you read these words and try to understand them, you may be making connections to other things you know or asking questions. You're burning glucose or ketones, keeping ion gradients across neural membranes, and releasing neurotransmitters across synapses. Your biology is always with you. You are your biology, which shows up in your thoughts and experiences. Learning about how your body works, how it keeps itself healthy, and how it handles problems can help you appreciate how amazing it is that you are alive. You didn't have to think about how to deal with the last meal. You didn't have to tell your liver to store glycogen or let glucose out on purpose. You didn't need to tell your liver to make ketones or your fat cells to break down fat. It all happened on its own, thanks to systems that have been fine-tuned over millions of years. These systems were working long before you were born and will keep working until the day you die. You should learn this because it's not just intellectual curiosity. It's also because you want to know how your body manages energy in different situations. It's also useful because it might help you decide when and how to eat better, ease your worries about being hungry, and make you more sure of your body's abilities. And maybe most importantly, it's a source of awe and appreciation for how complex and adaptable the biological systems are that let you live and see the world. So as you go to sleep tonight, remember that your body is taking care of you, just like it always has. It's taking in what happened during the day, putting memories together, fixing tissues, and keeping all the systems that keep you alive running, and it's keeping track of its energy stores, carefully controlling its blood sugar levels, deciding whether to use stored glycogen or start breaking down fat, and getting ready for whatever problems tomorrow may bring. You are in good hands, the hands of systems that have been tested and improved over millions of years and across many generations. Take it easy. Your body knows what it needs to do. Now that you're comfortable, take a moment to pay attention to how you're breathing. Don't change it, just watch. Feel your chest rise and fall gently, your ribs expand softly, and the quiet pause between each breath in and out. The rhythm you're feeling right now is the same one that has been with you since you were born and is still with you now, in this peaceful moment. We don't think about it very often because it's such a steady, dependable rhythm. But underneath this seeming simplicity is one of the most complex biological systems on Earth. Your respiratory system is like a master conductor leading an invisible orchestra. It keeps dozens of muscles, millions of tiny air sacs, and a complicated network of blood vessels in perfect harmony. Tonight, we'll learn about how this system changes and adapts as you go from being busy and alert during the day to sleeping deeply at night. We'll look at how your breath becomes your body's lullaby, how the air you breathe becomes the basis for dreams, and how this ancient rhythm connects you to every living thing that has ever breathed on this planet. Let's start our journey in the most obvious place, your mouth and nose, which are the openings through which life enters your body. Something very magical happens when you breathe in through your nose. The air doesn't just flow straight down into your lungs like water through a pipe. Instead, it goes on a carefully planned journey to get ready. Your nostrils are the first line of defense, keeping out dust and particles that are too big to fit in your delicate lung tissue. The cilia in your nose are tiny hairs that move like plants in water. They catch debris and move it away from your airways. But the nose does something even more amazing. It controls the temperature of your body. The turbinates in your nasal cavity are curved passages that create gentle turbulence that makes the air swirl and mix. This warms the air to body temperature and adds just the right amount of moisture. The air that goes into your throat has been changed from whatever temperature and humidity it was outside to a perfect 37 degrees Celsius with 100% humidity. Your nose gives each breath a warm, soft hug before sending it deeper into your body. The way your nasal passages are built is very smart for this conditioning process. 3 shelf-like projections called turbinates stick out from the sides of your nasal cavity. They make a maze-like path that lets air touch the warm, moist surfaces of your nasal lining as much as possible. These surfaces are full of blood vessels that open and close to control heat transfer, as well as cells that make mucus to keep the humidity levels just right. If you breathe through your mouth, this preparation is mostly skipped. When you breathe through your mouth while you sleep, the air gets to your lungs cooler and drier. This is why you might wake up with a dry throat. The nose is the best way for your body to breathe slowly and deeply while you sleep and rest. Notice how your breathing naturally changes to nasal breathing as you relax, as if your body knows exactly what it needs to get the best rest. There are also special nerve endings in the nasal cavity that can pick up chemical signals in the air, which helps you smell. While you sleep, your conscious awareness of smells goes down, but these receptors keep an eye on things and are ready to tell your brain about any smells that could be dangerous, like smoke or gas. This old way of protecting you makes sure that your respiratory system keeps an eye on your safety even when you're sound asleep. The air goes down through your pharynx, which is a shared highway where the paths for breathing and swallowing meet for a short time. This is where your body does one of its most well-timed dances. Your epiglottis is a small flap of tissue that works like a very advanced traffic controller. It sends air to your lungs and food to your stomach at the right time. This coordination gets even better while you sleep, making sure that the gentle flow of breath keeps going even as other systems slow down. Lymphoid tissue, which is made up of groups of immune cells, lines the pharynx. This is called Waldeyer's ring. Your tonsils and adenoids are 2 of the tissues that make up the first line of defense against germs that are in the air. These guardians work quietly to get rid of any foreign substances that may have been breathed in during the day while you sleep, when your immune system is especially busy repairing and maintaining itself. Then the air goes through your larynx, which is where your vocal cords are. These cords vibrate to make speech and song when you're awake, but they relax and become still when you go to sleep. The glottis is the space between them that opens up more to let air flow more freely and quietly. As you fall asleep, your body literally tunes itself for rest by making your breathing quieter. This helps you make the peaceful transition into dreams without any sounds that might wake you up. The vocal cords are amazing structures that can vibrate at frequencies from about 80 Hz in deep male voices to over 1000 Hz in the highest soprano notes. But when they sleep, they become passive gatekeepers, and their main job changes from making sound to keeping the best airflow resistance. As you go through the stages of sleep, The muscles that control the tension of your vocal cords relax more and more. This makes it easier for you to breathe while you sleep. Now we come to your trachea, which is also known as your windpipe. It is a remarkable tube that is about the same width as your thumb and the same length as your hand. There are C-shaped rings of cartilage that support the trachea and keep it open even when you're lying down, and gravity pulls on your tissues in a different way. These rings are a great example of how evolution works. They're strong enough to keep from breaking, but they're also flexible enough to bend when you turn your head or change positions while you sleep. These cartilage rings are shaped like a C for a reason. The open part of the C faces your esophagus, which lets the trachea expand a little when you swallow big pieces of food. This design stops the stiff cartilage from getting in the way of food going down your throat, but it still gives your airway the support it needs to stay open while you breathe. Millions of tiny hairs called cilia line the walls of your trachea and beat in waves about 1,000 times a minute. They only go up towards your mouth, taking away any particles or moisture that shouldn't be in your lungs. This escalator goes up all the time, even when you're sleeping deeply. It keeps your airways clear and healthy by cleaning them all the time. It's like having a team of housekeepers working the night shift to keep everything clean while you sleep. Goblet cells, which make mucus, are between the ciliated cells. This mucus isn't just annoying, it's a carefully made biological solution that traps particles, has antimicrobial properties, and is the perfect medium for ciliary action. The makeup of this mucus changes a little bit throughout the day and night. It gets a little thinner while you sleep, so that it can be cleared more easily while still keeping its protective properties. The trachea goes down into your chest and meets a point called the carina, where it splits into two main bronchi, one going to each lung. Respiratory scientists call this branching the bronchial tree, but it might be better to call it an inverted tree because it starts with one trunk and splits into smaller and smaller parts. The left main bronchus is a little longer and more angled than the right one. This is because your heart is in the middle of your chest cavity, a little to the left. This asymmetry is one of those beautiful biological compromises that lets different organ systems live together in the small space of your torso. The carina is very sensitive to touch because it has some of the most responsive nerve endings in your whole respiratory system. This sensitivity protects you by making you cough right away, and strongly if something foreign touches this important area. This protective response stays in place while you sleep, but the level at which it starts may be raised a little to keep you from waking up from small annoyances. The main bronchus splits into lobar bronchi. There are 3 on the right side for the 3 lobes of your right lung, and 2 on the left side for the 2 lobes of your left lung. These split into segmental bronchi, then subsegmental bronchi, and keep branching out like a tree's branches reaching for the sun. This bronchial tree splits into about 23 branches, making a path from your trachea to every part of your lung tissue. Each division roughly doubles the total cross-sectional area of the airways. By the time air gets to the smallest branches, it's moving very slowly, which gives the gas exchange plenty of time to happen. These airways change in character as they get smaller. The bigger bronchi are made stronger by cartilage and lined with the same ciliated cells that keep your trachea clean. But as the passages get smaller, the cartilage is replaced by smooth muscle, and the cleaning cilia slowly fade away. Bronchioles are the smaller airways that your body uses to control airflow very precisely. They use tiny muscles to change the size of each passage based on what your body needs. The smooth muscle in your bronchioles is controlled by your autonomic nervous system, which gets signals from your brain and chemicals in your blood. Your sympathetic nervous system can relax these muscles while you're awake, especially when you're stressed or exercising. This makes the airways wider, which lets more air flow through. These bronchioles change slightly as you fall asleep. As you breathe deeper and slower, the smooth muscles relax a little, making it easier for air to flow. Your sympathetic nervous system, which controls the fight or flight response, slowly loses its grip on these muscles. At the same time, your parasympathetic nervous system, which controls rest and digestion, starts to take more control. This change is one of the reasons why breathing becomes so much easier and calmer as you fall asleep. The bronchioles keep splitting until they reach the terminal bronchioles, which are the last airways that don't take part in gas exchange. These small tubes, which are hard to see with the naked eye, mark the boundary between the parts of your respiratory system that only conduct air and the parts that exchange gas. After these come the respiratory bronchioles, where the real magic of breathing starts. These little tubes are full of small air sacs called alveoli, which look like little bulbs on the branches of a Christmas tree. Finally, this is where the air you've breathed goes, the place where your respiratory and circulatory systems meet. Your alveoli are probably the most amazing parts of your body. There are about 300 to 500 million of these tiny air sacs in each lung. They are smaller than the period at the end of this sentence, but when you put them all together, they make a surface area about the size of a tennis court. About 70 square meters of gas-exchanging surface, folded and packed into the space of your two lungs. If you could lay out all of your alveoli, they would cover almost half of a basketball court, but they fit comfortably in your chest cavity. The way alveoli are built is a great example of biological engineering. The shape of each alveolus is roughly spherical, which gives it the most surface area for its volume. The walls are very thin, like a soap bubble, but they are strong enough to handle the constant expansion and contraction of breathing for your whole life. The walls are mostly made up of two types of cells. Type 1 pneumocytes, which make the thin barrier for gas exchange, and type 2 pneumocytes, which make surfactant and can change into type 1 cells when they need to be repaired. Around each alveolus is a thick network of capillaries, which are the smallest blood vessels in your body. Red blood cells have to squeeze through these capillaries in a single file, which makes sure that each cell touches the alveolar wall closely. The wall that separates the air in your alveoli from the blood in these capillaries is very thin, only about 0.5 micrometers thick, which is about 200 times thinner than a human hair. The respiratory membrane is a thin barrier where one of the most important exchanges in life takes place. Oxygen from the air you breathe goes through this membrane and into your blood. Carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of cellular metabolism, goes the other way and is exhaled. You don't have to do anything to make this exchange happen. Instead, it uses the simple physics of diffusion, which says that molecules naturally move from places where there are a lot of them to places where there aren't as many. Because the air in your alveoli has more oxygen than your blood, oxygen naturally moves into your blood. Your blood, on the other hand, has more carbon dioxide than the air in your alveoli, so carbon dioxide naturally flows out. Like a perfectly balanced seesaw that never stops moving, this system works all the time without anyone having to think about it. This exchange works even better in some ways while you sleep. Your metabolism slows down by about 10 to 15%, which means your cells need less oxygen and make less carbon dioxide. Your breathing naturally slows down and gets deeper, giving each alveolus more time to fully exchange gases. When your whole respiratory system relaxes, it creates the best conditions for this basic life process to happen with the least amount of energy use. The best way to match ventilation and perfusion, which is the delivery of air and blood to each alveolus, also improves the efficiency of gas exchange. Your body has complex ways of changing the flow of blood to different parts of your lungs depending on how well they are being ventilated. Blood flow automatically goes to areas that get more air, and blood flow goes to other areas that don't get enough air. Local chemical signals cause this matching. For example, when oxygen levels drop in a certain area, the blood vessels around it constrict, sending blood to areas with better ventilation. Hemoglobin, the iron-rich protein in your red blood cells, picks up the oxygen that gets into your blood right away. Your blood has about 280 million hemoglobin molecules per red blood cell, and each hemoglobin molecule can carry up to 4 oxygen molecules. Your blood can carry a lot of oxygen because it has about 25 trillion red blood cells. It's like having a fleet of tiny delivery trucks, each one able to bring valuable goods to every cell in your body. Hemoglobin is a great molecule that has evolved perfectly for its job of carrying oxygen. It shows what is known as cooperative binding. When one oxygen molecule attaches, it makes it easier for the next one to do the same, and so on. In other words, hemoglobin easily picks up oxygen in the high oxygen environment of your lungs and easily releases it where it's needed in the lower oxygen environment of your tissues. This system works very well when you sleep because your body's need for oxygen is lower. It makes sure that enough oxygen gets to your body with as little work as possible on your heart. But let's take a step back from these tiny wonders and look at the bigger picture of breathing. The muscles that work together to change the pressure in your lungs so that air can flow in and out. The diaphragm, a large muscle that makes up the floor of your chest cavity, is the star of this orchestra. When you stand up and are awake, your diaphragm is high in your chest and curves up like an upside-down bowl under your lungs. The diaphragm is different from your other muscles in a number of ways. You can consciously hold your breath or breathe deeply, so you have some control over it. However, it also works automatically without any conscious thought. This dual control system makes sure that breathing can keep going while you sleep, but it also lets you take over when you need to. The muscle fibers in the diaphragm are also made to last, with a lot of mitochondria and blood flow that lets them work all the time without getting tired. When your diaphragm contracts, it flattens and moves down, just like when you push down on the top of a balloon. This makes your chest cavity bigger and makes a partial vacuum that pulls air into your lungs. The best thing about this system is that it doesn't require any conscious effort or thought. When you're awake, your brainstem sends signals to your diaphragm about 12 to 20 times per minute. This rate naturally slows down as you fall asleep. As you sleep deeper, your diaphragm moves more clearly and effectively. The muscle relaxes more fully between breaths, which lets each contraction go deeper. This is why people who are asleep seem to breathe more deeply. Their diaphragms are working better because they aren't as tense and aren't breathing as shallowly as they do when they are awake. Your diaphragm doesn't work by itself. The intercostal muscles, which are small muscles that run between your ribs, help it. The external intercostals help lift your ribs up and out when you breathe in, and the internal intercostals can help you breathe out forcefully. However, when you breathe quietly, like when you sleep, exhaling is mostly passive, relying on the natural elasticity of your lungs and chest wall to recoil. There are two layers of intercostal muscles. The external intercostals are angled down and forward, while the internal intercostals are angled down and back. This setup lets them have opposite effects on how the ribs move. For example, during inspiration, the external intercostals lift the ribs, and during forced expiration, the internal intercostals pull them down. When you sleep, the external intercostals work gently with the diaphragm, but the internal intercostals don't do much. During sleep, a lot of the extra breathing muscles that you might use when you're stressed or working out hard stop working. The muscles in your neck that can lift your upper ribs, the muscles in your back that can expand your chest cavity, and the abdominal muscles that can help you breathe out forcefully all relax into rest. This leaves the diaphragm and basic intercostal muscles to do the work. This simplification is one of the things that makes breathing while you sleep so effective and helpful. Your lungs are amazing organs that can expand and contract. Healthy lungs want to collapse inward because of surface tension, unlike balloons, which don't stretch. The pleural space, which is a thin, fluid-filled space between the lung tissue and the chest wall, stops them from doing so. There are only a few milliliters of pleural fluid in this space. It works like a thin layer of water between two sheets of glass. The fluid makes the surface tension that keeps the lungs attached to the chest wall. This means that when your chest expands, your lungs have to expand too. The pleural space is actually a potential space. Normally, the surface of the lungs and the wall of the chest are so close together that there isn't much room between them. The pleural fluid does a lot of things. It helps the lungs and chest wall move smoothly by providing lubrication. It creates the surface tension that connects the two movements, and it helps to balance out pressure differences that might happen between different parts of the lung. The pleural space also acts as a shock absorber and lets your lungs move smoothly against your chest wall when you breathe. When you sleep, your breathing gets deeper and more regular, which makes this gliding action especially smooth and effective. Cells lining the pleural space make pleural fluid all the time, which keeps this important movement well lubricated. A substance called surfactant is very important for making breathing easy in your lung tissue. Surfactant is made by special cells in your alveoli. It works like a biological soap by lowering surface tension and keeping the alveoli from fully collapsing when you breathe out. It would be very hard to re-expand collapsed alveoli with every breath if there were no surfactant. Think about how hard it would be to blow up a new balloon with every breath. Surfactant is a thin film made up of phospholipids, proteins, and other molecules that covers the inside of each alveolus. As the alveolus expands and contracts, this film changes its properties in real time, giving each point in the breathing cycle the right amount of surface tension reduction. As the alveolus expands during inspiration, the surfactant film spreads out and makes it less effective at reducing surface tension. When you breathe out, the alveolus gets smaller, which makes the surfactant molecules pack more closely together and lower the surface tension even more, which keeps the alveolus from collapsing. While you sleep, your body keeps making surfactant at the right levels, which keeps your alveoli properly inflated and ready for gas exchange. This is one reason why getting enough sleep is so important for your lungs. It helps them keep their structure and get ready for the activities of the day. During certain stages of sleep, type 2 pneumocytes that make surfactant are especially active. This helps to restore the body. Your brainstem has groups of neurons called respiratory centers that control your breathing. These centers work without you knowing it, changing the speed and depth of your breathing based on a steady stream of chemical information from your blood and cerebrospinal fluid. A lot of people think that oxygen levels are what keep this system going, but it's actually carbon dioxide levels and blood pH. There are two main parts of your brainstem where the centers that control breathing are located: the medulla oblongata and the pons. The medulla has the main rhythm generator, which is a group of neurons that makes the basic breathing pattern. This is where the basic urge to breathe comes from. It works like a biological pacemaker that never stops working. The pons has neurons that change this basic rhythm, making the transitions between breathing in and out smoother and changing the pattern based on different inputs. Chemoreceptors, which are specialized sensors, are always checking the chemical makeup of your blood. They are found in your brainstem and in the big arteries in your neck. These sensors tell the respiratory centers to speed up and deepen your breathing when the level of carbon dioxide in your blood rises, which means that your cells are making more waste than you're breathing out. When the amount of carbon dioxide in the air goes down, breathing naturally slows down and becomes shallower. This system is very sensitive. When you're awake, a change in blood carbon dioxide of only 3 to 5% can double your breathing rate. This sensitivity stays the same while you sleep, but it works from a different baseline. Your body's slower metabolism means it makes less carbon dioxide. To keep levels normal, the respiratory centers adjust by making you breathe more slowly and deeply. There are some really interesting changes in how your body controls breathing when you go from being awake to sleeping. During REM sleep, the parts of the brain that control voluntary muscle movement become mostly inactive. This means you can't consciously control your breathing anymore. You become totally reliant on the automatic control systems in your brainstem. This change needs a lot of accuracy. The automatic systems have to keep the air flowing without the help of conscious control. During REM sleep, when your most vivid dreams happen, your breathing can become irregular and change, sometimes even reflecting what you're dreaming about. If you dream that you're running, you might breathe faster. If you have dream anxiety, you might start breathing quickly and shallowly. But even when these changes happen, the basic gas exchange keeps working well, showing how strong your respiratory system is. Your respiratory and cardiovascular systems work together in a very elegant way while you sleep. As you breathe more slowly and deeply, your heart rate also goes down, but the timing is very precise. When you breathe in, your heart rate goes up a little bit because the lungs are putting less pressure on the heart. Your heart rate goes down a little when you breathe out. Respiratory sinus arrhythmia is a subtle rhythm that shows that your autonomic nervous system is working well and is healthy. Heart rate variability with breathing is more noticeable when you sleep, especially in the deeper stages. It's thought to be a sign of a healthy autonomic balance, which is when your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems work together well. Young, healthy people usually have more respiratory sinus arrhythmia, but this variability tends to go down with age and in some diseases. Your blood pressure also changes in a rhythmic way when you breathe while you sleep. With each breath in, Blood pressure goes down a little bit because blood pools in the expanded lungs. With each breath out, blood pressure goes back to normal. These gentle changes in blood pressure, along with the overall drop in blood pressure during sleep, make the best conditions for your body's tissues to heal and restore themselves. The breathing patterns of sleep are good for your lymphatic system, which is your body's drainage and immune network. When you breathe deeply while you sleep, the gentle, regular changes in pressure help move lymphatic fluid through its vessels. This clears metabolic waste and boosts immune function. While you sleep, the lymphatic vessels in your lungs work extra hard to get rid of any particles or germs that you may have breathed in while you were awake. It's especially interesting to see how breathing changes during different stages of sleep. Your breathing stays pretty steady during light sleep, but it starts to slow down. As you fall into a deep sleep, your breathing becomes the most regular and effective. You take long, slow breaths that help you get rid of carbon dioxide while using the least amount of energy. During the deeper stages of sleep, the respiratory rate may drop to as low as 8 to 10 breaths per minute. This is much lower than the 12 to 20 breaths per minute that happen when you are awake. During REM sleep, breathing patterns change more often and sometimes look like waking patterns. However, the respiratory system is very adaptable, so gas exchange stays good. Researchers think that the changes in breathing during REM sleep are linked to the brain's high level of activity during this stage of sleep. Sometimes the way you breathe can show how you feel in your dreams. Your breathing system also helps keep your body temperature stable while you sleep. When you breathe in, the air warms up and adds moisture to it, which helps keep your core body temperature stable. When you breathe out, the water in your lungs evaporates, which cools you down. When you sleep, your body's temperature naturally drops, which makes these respiratory contributions to temperature control more noticeable. Your throat, tongue, and soft palate are all muscles in your upper airway that change a lot while you sleep. As you go into deeper sleep, these muscles that help keep your airway open during the day relax on their own. For most people, this relaxation happens slowly and doesn't make it hard to breathe. However, it does explain why some people snore. When air passes by, the relaxed tissues can vibrate. During this muscle relaxation, your body has developed several ways to keep your airways from collapsing. When you breathe in, the negative pressure pulls the walls outward, which helps keep the airway stable. Also, sensors in your upper airway can tell when it is getting narrower and cause your muscles to contract automatically to keep it open. However, this protective mechanism works below the level of consciousness. Your body position while you sleep has a big effect on how you breathe. When you lie on your back, gravity pulls your tongue and soft tissues back, which could make your airway smaller. When you lie on your side, gravity has less of an effect, which can make breathing quieter and more efficient. A lot of people naturally change positions while they sleep, and one reason for this is that their breathing changes slightly. Environmental factors can have small effects on how you breathe while you sleep. Your nasal passages don't have to warm and moisten the air as much when it's cool and humid, which could make breathing easier. Clean air makes it easier for your respiratory system to filter and clean itself. The height at which you sleep can also affect how your lungs work. For example, sleeping at higher altitudes can cause your breathing patterns to change temporarily. Your immune system and respiratory system work together a lot, especially when you sleep. The cilia that line your airways work the hardest when you sleep, getting rid of germs and other particles. Your alveolar macrophages, which are specialized immune cells in your air sacs, are always on the lookout for things that don't belong there. Your throat and nasal passages have a lot of lymphoid tissue that works hard while you sleep to process antigens and keep your immune system ready. As we get older, our respiratory physiology changes slowly, but the system's basic efficiency during sleep stays very high throughout our lives. The chest wall may get a little stiffer, and the lung tissue may lose some of its elasticity, but the systems that control breathing adjust to keep gas exchange going while you sleep. Changes in breathing that come with age are easier to see when you're awake and active than when you're sleeping and breathing normally. Controlling your body temperature is also very important for breathing while you sleep. As your body temperature drops naturally as you fall asleep, different parts of your respiratory system change to match. The airways get a little narrower because the body doesn't make as much metabolic heat, but this is made up for by the fact that sleep doesn't use as much energy. Your blood vessels widen a little, which helps blood flow and makes it easier for oxygen to get to your body, even if your heart rate is slower. The amazing thing about all these complicated processes is that they work perfectly without you even knowing it. As you listen to these words tonight, your respiratory system is coordinating millions of cellular activities, adjusting muscle tensions, monitoring blood chemistry, and keeping the delicate balance that keeps life going. All of this is happening while your conscious mind rests and restores. There are both obvious and subtle ways that your breathing connects you to the rest of the world. Atoms that were once part of other living things are in every breath you take. The oxygen you breathe in may have come from a tree that exhaled it earlier today, from algae in the ocean, or from tiny phytoplankton that are floating in the ocean. This is how breathing connects you to the global respiratory cycle that connects all life on Earth. When you breathe out carbon dioxide, it doesn't just go away. It becomes part of the cycle that plants use to make food through photosynthesis. Eventually, it becomes part of new growth and new life. Your breathing at night is part of exchanges that happen all over the world, linking your sleep to the huge web of life that surrounds our planet. Think about the long process of evolution that led to this amazing respiratory system. Your very first ancestors were simple single-celled organisms that got their oxygen from the water around them. As life got more complicated, specialized systems developed to get oxygen to cells that weren't in direct contact with the outside world anymore. The lungs, with their complex branching patterns and tiny air sacs, are the result of millions of years of evolution. Your respiratory system is the result of many changes that were tested by the needs of survival and reproduction. Your vocal cords are in the right place, your surfactant is made up of the right things, and your brainstem has very advanced control systems. All of these are examples of biological problems that were solved over long periods of time through the process of natural selection. As we get closer to the end of our tour of your respiratory system, take a moment to appreciate the quiet miracle that is happening inside you right now. Your diaphragm is gently contracting and relaxing. Your alveoli are exchanging gases with tiny amounts of precision. Your blood is carrying oxygen to every cell in your body, and your brainstem is controlling it all with perfect timing. This is not happening because you are thinking about it. It is happening because you are part of a biological lineage that goes back billions of years to the first organisms that learned how to get energy from the air. One of the most elegant changes in human physiology is the switch from breathing while awake to breathing while asleep. When you sleep, your body doesn't just keep the same breathing pattern, it makes everything work better for rest and recovery. The rate slows down, the depth goes up, the muscles work less, and the gas exchange gets better. It seems like your respiratory system has its own sleep mode that is perfectly made to help with the healing processes that happen while you sleep. As you fall asleep tonight, you can be sure that your respiratory system will keep doing its job. Your lungs will keep their gentle rhythm even when your mind is dreaming or sleeping deeply and peacefully. Your diaphragm will go up and down hundreds of times. Your alveoli will move thousands of liters of air, and your blood will move around your body, bringing oxygen to every part of it. This rhythm that helps you fall asleep is the same one that has kept you going through every moment of your life. It linked you to your mother before you were born, told her you were coming with your first breath, and has been with you through every experience since. It will keep doing its job while you sleep tonight, and when you wake up tomorrow, it will be there to greet you and be ready to help with whatever new adventures the day may bring. Breathing is both the basic rhythm and the melody that carries everything else in the grand symphony of your body's functions. It's the steady beat of the drum that keeps your heart in time, the soft wave that rocks your nervous system to sleep, and the invisible thread that connects you to everything that is alive on Earth. So as you get more comfortable tonight, let your breathing lead you to sleep. Don't try to control it or change it. Just let it carry you, as it has carried many generations before you, into the deep, healing sleep. Have faith in the ancient knowledge of your respiratory system, which has been honed over millions of years of evolution, to keep you alive through the night and safely bring you to tomorrow's awakening. Sweet dreams. May your breathing be the soft lullaby that helps you sleep soundly all night. Your lungs, diaphragm, alveoli, and all the other parts of your respiratory system will keep a close eye on you, making sure that every breath helps you rest and heal. Sleep well, knowing that one of nature's most perfect and reliable systems is holding you up and breathing you gently through the peaceful hours of the night. As you breathe slowly and naturally, feeling your chest rise and fall in that ancient rhythm that connects you to every living moment you've ever experienced, you're already seeing one of the most important and mysterious roles of the muscular system. The diaphragm, a muscle that looks like a dome and sits like a soft tent under your lungs, is working with the same quiet power as waves hitting the shore. It contracts and relaxes in a way that is so basic that you don't even notice it. But it's what makes every peaceful moment you've ever had, every laugh you've ever shared, every word you've ever said, and every sigh of happiness you've ever released. This amazing muscle works all the time in the background. Unlike the ones that move your arms and legs when you want to, it is a loyal friend that never really stops working, even when you are sleeping deeply. The diaphragm is a type of muscle called a skeletal muscle, but it works like the smooth muscles that line your internal organs. These smooth muscles have a completely different way of moving your body. They do their jobs without you telling them to, and they do them with a level of patience and persistence that goes against what we think we know about how to be efficient. They are the muscles that help you digest food by slowly moving it through your intestines like a massage that can take hours to finish. They are the muscles in your blood vessels that change their size throughout the day and night to keep your blood pressure stable. They do this by using the knowledge gained from millions of years of evolution to meet your body's needs. When you breathe in clean air, the smooth muscles in your airways open up. When they sense irritants, they close slightly. They work together with the small muscles around each hair follicle in your nose to help filter the air you breathe. Even the muscles in your pupils are smooth muscles. They change the size of your eyes opening all the time to control how much light gets in, protecting your sensitive retina and making sure you can see clearly. But let's start our deeper journey with the muscles that are easiest to feel. The skeletal muscles that make up about 40% of your body weight and give it shape, strength, and the ability to move. These are the muscles that are keeping you in the position you've chosen to listen to. Some of these muscles are always working, even when you're not doing anything, to keep you comfortable and supported. They make small changes that you might not even notice to keep you balanced and aligned. Take a moment to think about the muscles in your neck and shoulders and really pay attention to them. They've been holding up your head all day, which is about 10 to 12 pounds of bone, brain, and tissue balanced on the delicate structure of your cervical spine. This is like carrying a bowling ball on top of a flexible column made up of 7 small bones, with discs to cushion it, and a complex network of muscles, ligaments, and tendons to hold it up. The trapezius muscle, which looks like a diamond-shaped cape across your upper back, has always been there for you, keeping you upright and balanced as you walked, whether you were looking down at your phone, up at the sky, or straight ahead. This one muscle has different parts, and each part has a different job. When you shrug or reach over your head, the upper fibers help lift your shoulders. When you pull something toward you, the middle fibers pull your shoulder blades together. When you push something away from you, the lower fibers help you lower your shoulder blades. Now, as the evening winds down, you can feel these muscles starting to relax, letting go of the stress of the day like snow melting from branches in early spring. This release doesn't happen all at once. It happens in layers over time. First, the surface tension starts to go away. This is the kind of tension you might feel when you first sit down after a long day, or when you do a gentle stretch. Then deeper layers of tension start to relax. These are patterns of holding that may have been building up for days, weeks, or even months. Muscle relaxation is a lot more complicated and beautiful than just letting go. Each muscle fiber is made up of tiny protein strands called actin and myosin that work together like tiny rowers pulling on oars in perfect time. When a muscle contracts, These proteins slide past each other in a coordinated dance that has been honed over millions of years of evolution. This shortens the muscle and creates movement or tension with incredible accuracy. But relaxation isn't just the opposite of this process. It's an active choice your nervous system makes, sending chemical and electrical signals that tell these protein rowers to stop rowing and drift peacefully. Calcium ions that had been holding the actin and myosin together are released during the relaxation process. This lets them separate and the muscle fiber lengthens. Changes in electrical activity, blood flow, and the production of different neurotransmitters that help you rest and recover happen at the same time. The muscles in your face may be the best example of this cycle of tension and release. There are more than 40 different muscles in your face that can make thousands of different expressions, from a slight raise of the eyebrow to a big smile. Many of these muscles have been subtly active all day, showing how you feel, helping you talk to other people, and even showing thoughts and feelings you weren't fully aware of having. When you really think about something, worry about it, or try to understand a difficult idea, the corrugator supercilii, a small but powerful muscle above your eyebrows, contracts. This muscle makes the lines that run up and down between your brows. If you tend to think a lot or worry a lot, these lines may get more pronounced over time. As you listen to these words, pay attention to how this muscle can relax and let go of your forehead. This will make your brows smooth and calm. The orbicularis oculi muscles around your eyes have blinked thousands of times today, about 15 to 20 times a minute while you were awake. They've squinted when the lights were too bright, closed tightly when you laughed hard, maybe even narrowed a little when you were concentrating, and maybe even fought back tears when you were feeling sad. These muscles are very precise. They can control not only full blinks, but also the small partial blinks that keep your eyes moist and comfortable. Now these eye muscles can relax and get heavy and soft, and the eyelids will feel nice and heavy as they get ready for the deeper rest that sleep will bring. One of the best signs that sleep is coming is that your eyelids feel heavy, a mix of tired muscles and changes in your nervous system that make you sleepy and want to rest cause it. As we learn more about your muscular system, it's important to take a moment to appreciate the 3 different types of muscle tissue that work together in perfect harmony to keep you alive and moving through the world. We've talked about skeletal muscle before. This is the type of muscle that you can control on purpose. These muscles let you write, type, dance, and hug the people you love. These skeletal muscles are striated, which means that when you look at them under a microscope, they look like they have stripes. This is because the actin and myosin proteins are arranged in precise, repeating patterns that make them look like stripes. This is what makes skeletal muscles so strong and able to contract quickly. They can quickly and strongly contract when they need to, but they also get tired pretty quickly, which is why they need to rest and recover regularly. Smooth muscle tissue, which is in your organs and blood vessels, doesn't have these striations. When you look at smooth muscle under a microscope, it looks just like its name suggests, smooth and flowing, like silk fabric seen through a magnifying glass. These muscles contract and relax in gentle wave-like motions, which makes them work more slowly than skeletal muscles. However, they can keep their contractions going for much longer without getting tired. For example, the smooth muscles in your blood vessels can stay partially contracted for hours, which keeps your blood pressure stable and controls how much blood flows to different parts of your body as needed. Your digestive system's smooth muscles work together in waves called peristalsis. This action moves food through your stomach and intestines like a massage, and it keeps going even when you sleep. These muscles have their own nervous system, which is sometimes called the second brain. This lets them work on their own and coordinate their actions without your main nervous system telling them what to do. Cardiac muscle is the 3rd type. It is only found in your heart and is a unique combination of traits from both skeletal and smooth muscle. It has strength and power because it is striated like skeletal muscle, but it works automatically like smooth muscle, beating without you having to think about it or try. Your heart muscle has been beating steadily since before you were born, about 6 weeks after conception. It will keep doing its rhythmic work for the rest of your life, never really stopping, just taking short breaks between each heartbeat. But tonight, we're mostly interested in how all of these muscles work together to get your body ready for sleep, which is what you need for deep rest and recovery. As the sun goes down each day, your body goes through an amazing change that affects every muscle system. Your core temperature starts to drop a little, and this cooling tells your muscles that it's time to start letting go of the stress and tension that has built up during the day. Your circadian rhythm, which is like your body's internal clock, controls this change in temperature. It has evolved to work with the natural cycle of day and night. As it gets dark, your brain's pineal gland starts to release melatonin, a hormone that not only makes you sleepy, but also directly affects your muscle tissue, making you relax and getting your whole body ready for sleep. The erector spinae group of muscles in your lower back has worked all day to keep your spine straight and stable. These long, strong muscles run like pillars on either side of your spine. They make a lot of tiny changes to keep you balanced, whether you're sitting at a desk, standing in line, walking on uneven ground, or bending down to pick something up. They've been in constant, subtle communication with the muscles in your abdomen and deep core. They work together like a natural corset to support your spine and protect your organs from the stresses of daily movement. These muscles in the spine work isometrically, which means they contract without changing length to keep the spine stable, and dynamically, which means they shorten and lengthen to make movement happen. They work in complicated ways, with some muscles contracting and others relaxing at the same time. This is what makes it possible for your spine and torso to move smoothly and in a controlled way. These muscles can start to lengthen and soften now that you're in a comfortable position. It happens slowly, like how warm wax slowly spreads and settles as a candle melts. Your nervous system sends signals that lower the baseline tension in these muscles. This lets them let go of patterns of holding that may have been building up for weeks or even months of stress and tension. This is why you feel taller in the morning after a good night's sleep. You really are taller after a full night's sleep. During deep sleep, your spinal muscles relax completely, which lets the discs between your vertebrae rehydrate and get a little bigger. Gravity and movement push on these discs all day long, which act as shock absorbers between your vertebrae. When you sleep, the constant downward pressure is released, and they can soak up more fluid and get back to their ideal thickness. By morning, they can add as much as half an inch to your height. Your arms and hands have their own interesting story to tell about your day and how they are getting ready to sleep. Your fingers have done a lot of precise things, like typing on keyboards, writing with pens, touching surfaces to feel their texture and temperature, and picking up things of different sizes and weights with just the right amount of force. The complicated muscles in your forearms have worked like advanced puppet strings, controlling the small movements of your fingers through a complex system of tendons that run through tunnels in your wrists and hands. These muscles in the forearm are very specialized. Some of them control how your fingers bend, which lets you make a fist or hold things. Some of them control extension, which lets you open your hand and let go of something. Some of them also control the small movements of your thumb, which works against your fingers and gives humans the ability to move things with great accuracy. The muscles that move your wrist work with the muscles in your fingers to keep your hands still so you can move your fingers with precision. These arm and hand muscles are getting ready to sleep, and they're ready to let go of the stress of the day. Your hands will naturally soften and curl up into the most comfortable position. You might see your fingers curl up a little, as if you were holding something soft and valuable, or your hands might be completely open and relaxed. Both positions are perfectly normal and show that your muscles know what they need to heal. Your leg muscles have literally held your whole body weight with each step and helped you keep your balance as you moved across different surfaces and around obstacles. The quadriceps muscles in the front of your thighs are some of the biggest and strongest muscles in your body. They've worked to make your knees straight when you stood up from a chair, climbed stairs, or stepped up onto a curb. They've also worked eccentrically, lengthening while contracting, to help you control your descent when you sat down or walked down a hill. When you walked, your hamstrings worked with your quadriceps to bend your knees and push you forward with each step. These muscles connect to your pelvis and help keep the natural curves of your spine. If they're tight or tense, they can change how you stand and move. The gastrocnemius and soleus muscles in your calves work together like a complicated pump system. They not only move you forward with each step, but they also help move blood back up to your heart against the pull of gravity. Because they are so important for keeping blood flowing through your body, the calf muscles are sometimes called the second heart. Now that all of these leg muscles are ready to let go of their job, you can rest and let gravity hold you up. This release lets more blood flow to the muscle tissue, which brings in new nutrients and oxygen and takes away the waste products that built up during the day's activities. It's very moving how much your muscles trust you to let go each night. They are always ready to move you quickly if you need them to, catch you if you fall, or respond right away to your conscious wishes to reach, walk, gesture, or hug. This readiness needs a certain amount of tension, which is a muscular alertness that is necessary for getting around safely and dealing with unexpected events. But when you get ready for bed, your muscles all agree that they don't need to be on guard right now. They start to let go of this protective tension, which makes you vulnerable in the most beautiful way possible, completely supported by your bed, completely at peace, and completely sure that you're safe and can sleep deeply. A series of muscle changes that happen in a set order is what happens when you fall asleep. First, your voluntary muscles, which are the skeletal muscles you can control, start to relax. This usually starts with the muscles in your face and moves down your body like a soft wave. Your jaw muscles, which may have been a little tense during the day because of stress or focus, start to open your lips a little. Your tongue, which has been moving around and shaping itself all day to help you talk and eat well, settles into the bottom of your mouth like a cat curling up in its favourite sunny spot. Your eyelids and the muscles around your eyes start to feel heavy. This is partly because your muscles are tired, but it's also because your nervous system is changing in ways that make you sleepy. The muscles that usually keep your eyelids open start to relax, which lets gravity slowly pull them closed. As you get more and more relaxed, your muscles go through a strange and sometimes scary change between being awake and sleeping. Hypnic jerks are those quick, short muscle contractions that happen sometimes right before you fall asleep and wake you up. These strange muscle spasms happen to up to 70% of people and seem to be a normal part of falling asleep. Scientists think that these hypnic jerks might be a leftover from evolution, a last check by your old brain to make sure you're in a safe place to sleep all the way through. Some scientists think that when your brain starts to shut down for sleep, it might mistake the relaxation of your muscles for a sign that you're falling or in danger, which could wake you up for a short time to check your surroundings. Your nervous system seems to do one last security check before letting you sleep and become completely defenseless. Once you fall asleep, your muscles go through different phases of activity depending on what stage of sleep you're in. Sleep isn't the same all the time. It goes through different stages during the night, each with its own patterns of brain activity, muscle tone, and bodily processes. Your muscles are most relaxed during the deeper stages of non-REM sleep, especially stages 3 and 4. This is when the deepest healing takes place. During these deep sleep stages, the body releases the most growth hormone. This hormone helps repair and rebuild muscle tissue that was broken down during the day's activities. During deep sleep, blood flow to your muscles goes up a lot. This brings in new nutrients and oxygen and gets rid of metabolic waste products more quickly than when you're awake. Your muscles also do important repair work while you sleep deeply. The body fixes and rebuilds tiny damage to muscle fibers that happens during normal daily activities. Proteins that were broken down while you were using your muscles are put back together. The muscles get more energy stores. This is why it's so important for anyone who is physically active to get enough sleep. During sleep, the body repairs itself, which is when muscles get stronger and more resilient. But the most interesting thing is that during REM sleep, When you dream the most clearly, your voluntary muscles become temporarily paralyzed in a process called muscle atonia. This isn't a problem or something to worry about. It's a smart way to keep you from acting out your dreams and hurting yourself or others who are sleeping with you. This system's intelligence is truly amazing. Your brain basically disconnects from your voluntary muscles during REM sleep. This lets you dream of running without moving your legs, speaking passionately without opening your mouth, and reaching for dream objects without extending your arms. Your body and mind seem to have made a beautiful deal. Your mind gets to play and explore freely in dreams while your muscles rest completely. Then, during the deeper non-REM stages, your mind rests more quietly while your muscles work hard to repair and restore themselves. The neurons in your brainstem that actively stop the motor neurons that control your voluntary muscles control this temporary paralysis during REM sleep. The inhibition is so strong that your leg muscles won't move at all, even if you dream about running a marathon. During REM sleep, only your diaphragm and other important muscles work normally. Your muscles are never really still at night, even when you're in the deepest stages of sleep. Your heart muscle keeps working steadily and rhythmically, but it does so at a slower pace than when you're awake. Your diaphragm keeps breathing in a calm way, usually slower and deeper than when you're awake. Each breath gives your internal organs a gentle massage. Your digestive system's smooth muscles keep working hard, moving the food you ate that day from your stomach to your intestines. These muscles work together in waves to move food and waste through your body. This happens all night long. This is why you might wake up hungry in the morning. Your digestive system has been working while you slept to get your body ready for the new day. Your eye muscles stay active even when you sleep, especially during REM sleep. The muscles that move your eyes when you're awake also make the rapid eye movements that give REM sleep its name. It looks like your eyes are following the action in your dreams. These eye movements can be very noticeable. If you've ever seen someone sleeping during an REM period, you might have seen their eyelids fluttering as their eyes move quickly underneath them. Your muscles also help keep your body temperature at the right level while you sleep. They work with your circulatory system to do this. When your core body temperature drops at night, which is one of the main signs that you need to sleep, blood vessels in your hands and feet open up, letting more warm blood flow to those areas. Some of the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels control this redistribution of heat. This is why your hands and feet often feel warmer just before you fall asleep, even though your body's core temperature is actually going down. Your body is moving heat from your core to your periphery to get ready for the cooler temperature that comes with deep sleep. Warm hands and feet are one of the body's natural sleep signals because this process works so well. The erector pili muscles, which are small muscles around your hair follicles, help you keep your body temperature stable. When you're cold, these tiny smooth muscles can contract and make your hairs stand up, trapping air near your skin to keep you warm. As you sleep, your body temperature regulation changes to its nighttime pattern, and your overall muscle tension decreases. These small muscles relax along with everything else, which makes you feel warm and comfortable, which is what good sleep is all about. Your muscles and breathing are beautifully connected, and this connection becomes even more important and clear when you sleep. The diaphragm is the main muscle that helps you breathe, but it doesn't do it by itself. It works with the intercostal muscles between your ribs, which help your rib cage expand and contract, as well as with extra breathing muscles in your neck, shoulders, and even your back. These breathing muscles might work in ways that make you breathe faster and shallower when you're awake, especially when you're stressed, excited, or doing something physical. The muscles in your neck and shoulders that help you breathe may become more active, lifting your rib cage and making you breathe through your chest, which is something that often happens when you're stressed or anxious. But as you fall asleep, this breathing pattern changes a lot to one that is more effective and restorative. Your breathing slows down, gets deeper, and becomes more regular. Your diaphragm does most of the work. It moves like a gentle piston, creating the pressure changes needed for breathing and giving your internal organs a natural massage with each breath. This deeper diaphragmatic breathing pattern helps your parasympathetic nervous system work. This is the rest and digest response that speeds up healing, digestion, restoration, and all the other bodily functions that work best when you are resting. The rhythm of this breathing acts like a soft metronome that helps other body systems work together and encourages deeper, more restorative sleep. The muscles of your pelvic floor, which are located deep inside your pelvis, are very important for supporting your pelvic organs and keeping your core stable all day long. These muscles work all the time when you're awake to keep your bladder, reproductive organs, and rectum in the right place. They work with your diaphragm and deep abdominal muscles to keep your spine stable and support it. These muscles in your pelvic floor also help your body get ready for sleep. As they relax along with the rest of your muscles, they help you feel like you're letting go and releasing, which is what the transition into rest is all about. This is one reason why having a full bladder can make it hard to sleep. The pelvic floor muscles stay somewhat active and alert when they are dealing with the feeling of a full bladder, which makes it harder to fully relax your muscles. You should pay special attention to your jaw muscles because they often hold more tension than you think, and this tension can have a big effect on how well you sleep. The masseter muscles, which help you chew, are some of the strongest muscles in your body for their size. When you bite down, they can apply a lot of pressure, enough to crack nuts or rip tough meat. But these strong muscles can also stay slightly contracted even when you're not eating. This is especially true if you tend to clench your jaw when you're stressed, anxious, or concentrating. The masseters and the temporalis muscles work together to make the complicated, coordinated movements needed for chewing. The temporalis muscles are like delicate hands that fan out over your temples. These muscles can also hold stress, which can cause headaches and jaw pain that make it hard to sleep well. As these jaw muscles relax before you go to sleep, you may notice that your jaw drops slightly open, leaving a small space between your upper and lower teeth. You might want to gently move your jaw from side to side, or open and close your mouth a few times to let go of the tension that has built up. This is how your body naturally gets these tired muscles ready for rest. Bruxism is a condition in which some people grind their teeth while they sleep. This shows that these jaw muscles can sometimes hold on to the stress and tension of waking hours, even when they are resting. This grinding could mean that your muscles aren't fully relaxing while you sleep. This is often because of stress, anxiety, or sleep disorders that keep you from moving through the normal stages of sleep. The complex network of muscles in your feet and ankles has worked in ways that are truly amazing when you think about how complicated and accurate they are. There are many layers of muscles in your feet that work together to keep you balanced, adjust to different surfaces, move you forward with each step, and absorb shock when you land after jumping or stepping down. These muscles in your feet have some of the most advanced proprioceptive sensors in your body. These are specialized nerve endings that keep track of where you are and how you're moving in space. They give your brain a lot of information about the ground you're walking on, where your foot is, how much pressure is on your sole, and many other things that help you move around safely and confidently. These muscles can finally stop watching over you and relax when you lie down to sleep. The little muscles between your toes can let go. The muscles that hold up your arch can let go of their constant support. The muscles around your ankle that have been making small changes all day to keep you balanced can finally relax. Your gastrocnemius and soleus muscles in your calves have worked like extra pumps all day, helping to move blood back up to your heart against the force of gravity. This pumping action in your muscles is so important for good circulation that problems with your calf muscles can cause serious problems with your circulation. When the calf muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins in your legs, which helps blood move up through a system of one-way valves. When you sleep, these muscles relax completely, and your heart and the natural elasticity of your blood vessels take over more of the work of moving blood around. People who are bedridden for long periods of time can have circulation problems because they don't get the benefits of the pumping action that healthy, active calf muscles provide. As you fall asleep, different muscle groups let go of tension in a way that is almost poetic. It's not often that the process happens all at once and in the same way in every part of your body. Instead, it happens like a wave moving slowly through your body, starting with your face and head and moving down through your torso and limbs. You might first notice that your forehead is smoothing out, and then your eyes might get heavy. Your jaw may relax, which could cause your mouth to open a little. Your shoulders might drop and get wider. Your arms may feel heavy and relaxed. Your back muscles may become less stiff and longer. Lastly, your legs and feet may feel like they're sinking into your bed, which is fully supporting and relaxing them. This sequential relaxation follows the natural way your nervous system is set up and how nerve signals travel from your brain to different muscle groups through your spinal cord. The muscles that are controlled by nerves that come from higher up in your spinal cord, like those in your head, neck and shoulders, usually relax first. Then the muscles that are controlled by nerves that come from lower levels of the spine relax. You can work with your body's wisdom instead of against it if you understand this natural pattern. You don't have to try to relax all of your muscles at once, which can make things worse. Instead, let this wave-like progression happen on its own. You could even help it along by consciously relaxing the muscles in your face and letting that relaxation flow down through your body like warm honey, slowly spreading across a surface. When we watch ourselves fall asleep, it's easy to see how mental and emotional stress can lead to muscle tension. Worry, anxiety, anger, or excitement can cause muscles to stay tense long after the emotion that started it has passed. Your shoulders might stay a little higher in a protective position. Your jaw may remain clenched, as if you are still gritting your teeth in the face of difficulties. Even when there isn't a threat or stressor nearby, your breathing muscles might still keep a quick, shallow rhythm. These ways of holding muscles are very old and go back to our evolutionary history. When our ancestors were in danger, their muscles would get tense so they could either fight or run away. This tension was important because it got the body ready to act right away. But in today's world, a lot of the things that stress us out are mental, not physical. However, our muscles still react in the same old way. This is why relaxation methods that focus on releasing tension in the muscles can help you fall asleep faster and sleep better. When you consciously relax your muscles, you send a strong message to your nervous system that there is no immediate danger and that it is safe to rest and recover. Your brain sees muscle relaxation as a sign that you are in a safe place. This helps turn on the parasympathetic nervous system and get your whole body ready for restorative sleep. The muscles in your back tell a very rich and complicated story about your daily life and the effects of living in the modern world. The latissimus dorsi are the big, strong muscles that run from your arms to your lower back. They help you reach for things, open doors, lift kids, and do a lot of other things during the day. These muscles help you move your upper body in almost every way. If you spent a lot of time hunched over a computer, looking down at your phone, or doing things that pull your shoulders forward, the rhomboids and middle trapezius, which pull your shoulder blades together, may have worked extra hard. In today's world, these muscles are often overstretched and weakened by bad posture, while the muscles in the front of your chest get tight and short. The multifidus muscles in your back run along your spine and help control the movement of individual vertebrae. They work all the time to keep your body stable and give you precise control over your movements. These muscles make thousands of tiny changes to your body every day, depending on how you move, the weight of the things you carry, and the different movements you make. These muscles that help you stand up straight often get tense in the same way over and over again, which shows how you move through the world and how you feel about yourself. Our muscles literally show how we feel through how they move. If you worry a lot, it could make the muscles in your upper trapezius stay tense. If you tend to bear the weight of the world, your levator scapulae, the muscles that lift your shoulders, may feel tight. If you feel like you don't have anyone to help you, you might feel weak or tense in your deep back muscles. But sleep gives these muscles a chance to heal and reset every night. These muscles can stretch and relax in ways that aren't possible when you're standing up and moving around. This is because you're lying down and letting gravity hold you up. As you lie down, the weight of gravity, which has been compressing your spine and putting stress on your postural muscles all day, now works in your favour by gently stretching and decompressing your spine. The multifidus muscles along your spine, the transverse abdominis that wraps around your torso like a natural weight belt, and the deep pelvic floor muscles are always working to keep you stable and support you. These muscles are so important for basic movement that they hardly ever get to rest completely, even when you're sitting or lying down during the day. The transverse abdominis, in particular, works like an internal corset. It contracts slightly before you move to keep your spine stable. You don't usually notice this muscle because it works so automatically, but it's always working to support your bigger muscles so they can work safely and efficiently. Even these basic muscles can finally let go of their constant support and protection during deep sleep. One reason you might feel a little stiff or wobbly when you first wake up is because your muscles are completely relaxed. They need a few minutes to remember what they did during the day and get back to their supportive tone. This is completely normal and is a normal part of your body's transition from sleeping to being active and supporting your body when you stand up. Waking up is basically the opposite of falling asleep from a muscular point of view. Knowing this can help you wake up more easily and quickly. Your nervous system slowly raises the baseline tone in your voluntary muscles, getting them ready to support and move you through another day of activity. Your circadian rhythms affect this process. For example, cortisol levels rise in the early morning to help get your muscles ready for action. This is why it feels so good and is so good for you to stretch or move gently when you wake up. It helps your muscles smoothly move from their resting state back to their active, supportive roles. Instead of doing hard things right away, giving your muscles a few minutes to slowly get back to their normal tone and coordination can help you avoid injury and make you feel better and more energized as you start your day. There are a lot of interesting muscles in your arms that work together in very precise ways to give you the amazing strength and dexterity of human movement. Your upper arms have biceps and triceps that work against each other. For example, when your biceps contract to bend your elbow, your triceps have to relax to let the movement happen, and the other way around. Reciprocal inhibition is the basic idea behind smooth, coordinated movement in all parts of your body. But moving your arms involves a lot more than just these two well-known muscles. The deltoids, which are the muscles that cap your shoulders like shoulder pads, are part of a complicated group of muscles that control your shoulders. These muscles give you the strength to lift your arms in any direction. The supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis muscles in the rotator cuff work together to give your shoulder joint, which is one of the most flexible joints in your body, precise control and stability. Your forearms have many muscles that control the complex movements of your wrists and fingers. These muscles are connected by a complex system of tendons that work like biological cables running through pulleys. Some of these muscles start in your forearm, but move your fingers by sending their tendons through the carpal tunnel in your wrist and all the way to your fingertips. When these arm muscles get ready for sleep, they let go of not only the physical stress of the day's activities, but also the subtle memories of all the movements and gestures they've done. Your hands might naturally curl into a soft, relaxed position, with your fingers gently bent as if you were holding something delicate and precious. Your arms might go wherever they feel best, like at your sides, across your chest, under your pillow, or around a loved one or pet. The shoulder girdle, which connects your arms to your torso, is a great example of how muscles can work together in a complicated way. Your shoulders can move around a lot and stay stable thanks to the work of many muscles. The serratus anterior, which is also known as the boxer's muscle, helps your shoulder blades slide smoothly over your ribs when you reach forward or push something away from you. When you shrug or reach over your head, the levator scapulae lift your shoulders. When you squeeze your rhomboids back, they pull your shoulder blades together. This shoulder complex often holds a lot of stress and tension, especially in today's world where we spend so much time with our arms forward for work, phone calls, or driving. The muscles in the shoulder girdle can hold both physical and emotional stress. These hard-working muscles literally carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. The phrase, shouldering responsibility, shows how closely our shoulders are linked to our sense of duty or burden. When we have too many things to do, our shoulders often rise slightly, as if we're really trying to carry a heavy load. This can lead to long-term patterns of tension that affect not only comfort, but also breathing and posture. As you fall asleep, pay attention to how your shoulders can drop and widen. This can help you let go of both physical and emotional tension that may have been building up for hours, days, or even longer. This isn't just physical relief, it's a letting go that can change how you feel, how you think, and how well you are overall. The link between muscle tension and mood is so strong that just consciously relaxing your shoulder muscles can help calm your mind and ease feelings of anxiety or being overwhelmed. Your gluteal muscles, which are the strong muscles in your buttocks, are some of the strongest muscles in your body. They've done a lot for you throughout the day, not just when you sit down. The gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus muscles have helped you stand up straight, move around, and keep your pelvis stable while walking, climbing stairs, and doing many other things. The gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle in your body. It mainly helps you extend your hip joint, which is important for things like getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or walking up a hill. The gluteus medius and minimus are more like stabilizers. They keep your pelvis from tilting to the side when you stand on one leg or take a step. These muscles are very important for people to be able to walk upright. They help us walk well on two legs, which lets us use tools and move things around with our hands. They've been working all day, not just when you were obviously active. They've also been working during things you might not think of as working your glutes, like keeping your balance while standing or giving you stability when you bend forward. These big, strong muscles can finally let go of their constant state of readiness and protective vigilance when you sleep. When you lie down and get ready to sleep, this deep relaxation of your gluteal muscles is a big part of the overall feeling of physical relief and surrender. When these muscles relax, they let your pelvis settle into a neutral position. This can help your whole spine line up for the best rest and recovery. The erector spinae group is a group of muscles that run along your spine. They are some of the most advanced muscles in your body. These muscles don't work as single units. Instead, they work together as a network of shorter and longer muscles that can work alone or together to make precise movements and give targeted support. The iliocostalis runs from the pelvis to the ribs and helps with bending to the side. The longissimus runs from the pelvis to the skull and helps with extending and rotating the back. The spinalis is the closest to the spine and helps with fine control of spinal movement. These muscles can help you keep your posture by contracting without changing length. Or they can help you bend, twist, and extend your spine through its full range of motion. By the end of a normal day, these spinal muscles have made thousands of tiny changes to keep you balanced as you move through different environments, respond to changes in your position, and adjust to the weight of things you've carried. They've worked together like a symphony orchestra, with different parts taking the lead at different times and others providing subtle support. They've also had to fight against the constant pull of gravity, which pushes down on your spine and makes your postural muscles work hard all the time you're standing up. Even though most of it happens below the level of conscious awareness, this is hard work. These hard-working spinal muscles are now ready for a full night's sleep, when they can relax and let your spine settle into its natural, unstressed position. Your spinal muscles can relax in a way that is impossible when you are awake. This helps them recover and get ready for another day of supporting your upright posture. When we think about the accessory muscles of respiration, muscles that aren't mainly used for breathing, but can help when needed, the connection between your breathing and your muscular system becomes even more interesting. The scalens and sternocleidomastoid are muscles in your neck. The intercostals are muscles between your ribs. There are also muscles in your back and stomach. When you're stressed, excited, or working out, These extra breathing muscles work harder, which helps you move more air in and out of your lungs. But this extra effort to breathe often stays even after the stressor has gone away, which can lead to patterns of tension that make it hard to relax and sleep. One of the most beautiful things about falling asleep is how your breathing slowly changes from this possibly hard pattern back to the gentle, efficient rhythm that your diaphragm mostly controls. When your accessory breathing muscles relax, your breath naturally gets slower, deeper, and more regular. This change in how you breathe both shows and helps the deep relaxation that is a sign of good sleep. A complex system of muscles moves your rib cage. The external intercostal muscles, which are located between your ribs, help lift your rib cage when you breathe in. This opens up your chest cavity and lets air into your lungs. During forced expiration, the internal intercostal muscles help lower your rib cage. However, most quiet breathing is done by the elastic recoil of your lungs and rib cage, not by active muscle effort. When you lie down to rest, these muscles in your rib cage can relax and settle, letting your chest find its most comfortable and natural position. This adds to the feeling of openness and ease that comes with deep relaxation, both physically and emotionally. The muscles in your stomach do a lot of important things that go beyond just making your core strong and stable. The rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack muscle that runs vertically down the front of your abdomen, helps you bend your spine and supports your internal organs. But it also helps you breathe by contracting when you forcefully exhale to help push air out of your lungs. The internal and external oblique muscles wrap around your sides and help your trunk rotate and bend to the side. They also help stabilize your core by creating internal pressure that supports your spine and protects your back when you lift things and do other things. The transverse abdominis is the deepest of your abdominal muscles. It works like an internal corset, tightening automatically before almost any movement to keep your spine stable. This muscle is so important for safe movement that it turns on by itself, usually before you even realize you want to move. Even these deep, stabilizing muscles can finally let go of their constant watchfulness while you sleep. This full release of core tension is what gives deep sleep its deep sense of vulnerability and surrender. Your body knows for sure that it's safe to let go of all the tension that protects it and focus completely on healing and restoring itself. You should pay special attention to the muscles in your neck because they have to deal with a lot of stress during the day, which can make it hard to sleep. Your neck has to hold up your head and let you move your head in all directions. Nod, shake your head, and make all the small adjustments that help you see what's around you. The sternocleidomastoid muscles, which run from the back of your ears to your collarbone and sternum, help you turn your head from side to side and tilt it forward and back. These muscles are almost always working when you're awake. They make small changes to keep track of moving things, keep eye contact when you're talking to someone, and turn your head towards sounds and other things that catch your attention. We've talked about the upper trapezius muscles before. They often get tight all the time because of the way we hold our heads forward when we use screens a lot. When your head is in front of where it should be over your shoulders, these muscles have to work a lot harder to keep your head from falling forward because of its own weight. The suboccipital muscles at the base of your skull and the smaller, deeper muscles in your neck work together with amazing accuracy to make small changes to the position of your head. These muscles are full of proprioceptive nerve endings that help your brain figure out where your head is in space. As all these neck muscles prepare for sleep, they can finally release the constant adjustments and vigilant support they've provided throughout your day. This is why it's so important to find a comfortable pillow that supports your neck properly. It lets these muscles really rest instead of having to keep working to keep your body in the right position while you sleep. Your face has the most expressive muscles in your body. They can show subtle feelings and complicated thoughts without words. The orbicularis oris muscles that go around your lips, the zygomaticus major and minor muscles that lift the corners of your mouth when you smile, and the depressor anguli oris muscles that pull the corners down when you frown have been telling people how you feel all day. The muscles around your eyes can also show how you feel. The orbicularis oculi not only blinks to protect and moisten your eyes, but it also makes the crinkles around your eyes when you smile genuinely. Psychologists call these Duchenne markers, which show that you are really happy and not just faking it. When you worry or focus, the corrugator supercilii muscle makes those vertical lines between your brows. When you're surprised or questioning something, the frontalis muscle across your forehead lifts your eyebrows. Even your scalp has muscles. The occipitofrontalis muscle can raise your hairline when you're really surprised, and the temporalis muscle fans across your temples as part of your jaw closing system. All of these muscles in your face and scalp have been working all day, and they often show how you feel and what you're thinking, even if you weren't fully aware of it. When you get ready for bed, all of these expressive muscles can relax and become neutral. Your face can become a calm, blank canvas, free from the small changes and messages that happen all the time in waking life. This relaxation of the face often goes hand in hand with relaxation of the mind and emotions. When your face relaxes, your mind often does too. There is more to the link between your muscles and your emotions than just how tense they are. Recent studies have shown that your muscles make and respond to many of the same chemicals that your brain uses to control mood and behavior. Muscles can make things like brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which helps keep the brain healthy and keeps mood in check. This means that how your muscles feel, whether they're always tense or relaxed, strong or weak, active or lazy, can actually affect how you feel mentally and emotionally. Healthy sleep not only restores your body but also your mind and emotions. It helps reset your whole psychophysiological system. Your muscles also react to your emotions in ways that can lead to cycles that keep going. When you're anxious, your muscles often tense up, which sends signals back to your brain that can make you feel more anxious. Muscle relaxation also sends signals to your brain that make you feel calm and safe, which creates a positive feedback loop that helps both your physical and mental health. This is one reason why things that help your muscles relax, like progressive muscle relaxation, gentle yoga, massage, or just taking the time to consciously relax your muscles before bed, can be so good for your mental and emotional health in general, as well as your sleep. Your circadian rhythm system controls when your muscles relax by coordinating changes in body temperature, hormone levels, and nervous system activity over the course of a 24-hour day. As night falls, your brain starts to make melatonin, your core body temperature drops, and your nervous system starts to switch to the parasympathetic mode that helps you rest and recover. Your muscular system is directly affected by these changes. Your muscles are more likely to relax and less likely to stay tense when your core temperature drops. Melatonin directly affects muscle tissue, making it relax and lowering inflammation. When your parasympathetic nervous system is more active, it lowers the level of tension in the background that keeps your muscles ready to move during the day. If you know this natural rhythm, you can work with your body's wisdom instead of against it, doing things that make your muscles tense, like working out hard, having stressful conversations, or doing things that make you feel bad close to bedtime can get in the way of this natural process of relaxing. On the other hand, things like gentle stretching, warm baths, massage, or relaxation exercises can help your body get ready for sleep and make it easier for you to fall asleep. It's amazing how your muscles heal while you sleep. During the deeper stages of sleep, your muscles repair and rebuild themselves, which is necessary for keeping their strength, flexibility, and function. It fixes tiny damage to muscle fibers that happens when you do normal things every day. It gets rid of waste products that build up in muscle tissue during activity more quickly. The energy stores are full again. Growth hormone is a hormone that is mostly released during deep sleep. It is very important for repairing and growing muscles. This hormone makes new proteins and helps heal damaged tissue. It also helps get rid of metabolic waste and bring nutrients to muscle tissue. Your muscles also get used to the work they do while you're awake and while you sleep. Your muscles use sleep time to get stronger and adapt if you've been more active than usual. If you've been learning new ways to move, your muscles use sleep to strengthen these patterns, which makes you more coordinated and efficient. This is why getting enough sleep is so important for anyone who is training or recovering from an injury. The real gains in strength, endurance, and coordination happen mostly while you sleep, when your muscles have the time and resources to rebuild themselves stronger and better than before. Your muscles also help control your body's metabolism, and they do this even when you're sleeping. Even when you're not using them, muscle tissues are metabolically active, using energy to keep basic cellular functions going and adding to your overall metabolic rate. One reason why it's important to keep your muscle mass is that bigger, stronger muscles burn more calories even when you're sleeping. Your muscles also help keep your blood sugar levels stable while you sleep by taking glucose from your blood and storing it for energy and cell maintenance. During sleep, the body takes in more glucose, which helps keep blood sugar levels stable all night long. Sleep and muscle function affect each other in both directions. Not only do your muscles need sleep to work properly, but the quality of your muscle function also affects how well you sleep. Muscles that are always tense, weak, or out of balance can make you uncomfortable and keep you from sleeping. If your muscles hurt or are tense, it can be hard to find a comfortable sleeping position, and you may wake up a lot during the night. This is why it's so important for sleep quality to keep your muscles healthy by moving around, stretching, and managing stress. Strong, flexible muscles that aren't always tense are more likely to relax completely while you sleep, which helps you get deeper, more restorative sleep. As we come to the end of our gentle look at your muscles and how they affect sleep, take a moment to think about how smart and coordinated your muscles are all the time. Hundreds of muscles in your body are working together right now to keep you in your position, keep you breathing, circulate your blood, and support all the basic functions of life. Your muscles have been there for you your whole life, adapting to your needs, supporting your activities, showing your feelings, and working hard to keep you healthy and functional. They've learned from what you've been through, changed their way of life to fit yours, and made patterns that show how you move through the world. They've been there for you through happy and sad times, giving you the strength to hug, dance, and win. They've been there for you through tough times and problems, and they've still been able to do their jobs even when they're stressed or overworked. They've been there for every big event in your life, from your first steps as a child to every adventure and success you've had since then. These same muscles are now showing a different kind of intelligence as you get ready for bed. The wisdom to know when to let go, when to trust, and when to rest. This isn't being lazy or passive. Your muscles are making a conscious choice to put restoration and healing ahead of readiness and vigilance. Your body's natural circadian rhythms are closely linked to how your muscles get ready for sleep. This is one of the most basic and important things you can do to stay healthy and happy. When it gets dark and your brain tells you it's time to sleep, your whole muscular system changes from its daytime roles of support and movement to its nighttime roles of repair and restoration. This change isn't just physical, it's also very emotional and mental. When your muscles let go of their protective tension, you can become vulnerable in the most beautiful way possible, knowing that you are safe and can rest deeply. This letting go of muscles often leads to letting go of emotions and thoughts as well, which can help you let go of the worries, tensions, and stress that have built up over the day. Your muscles are also very responsive to how you feel, what you're thinking, and how you are mentally. Thinking about things that make you happy, peaceful, or grateful can help your muscles relax and let go more fully. On the other hand, thoughts of worry, anger, or stress can keep your muscles tense even when you're in bed trying to sleep. This connection between the mind and muscles is one reason why bedtime routines that help you think and feel calm and positive can help you sleep better. When you consciously work on feeling peaceful, safe, and thankful before bed, you're not only making your mind better, you're also helping your muscles fully switch into their restorative mode. As you fall asleep, your breathing is also closely linked to the way your muscles relax. When your muscles relax and let go, Your breathing naturally slows down, gets deeper, and becomes more rhythmic. This deeper breathing, in turn, helps the muscles relax even more, which creates a positive feedback loop that helps you fall asleep. The diaphragm, which we talked about earlier as the muscle that helps you breathe, has a special job in this process. It gives all of your internal organs a gentle rhythmic massage by working better and needing less help from other breathing muscles. This type of breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you rest and digest, which is important for getting good sleep. The way your muscles relax while you sleep affects not only how well you recover physically, but also how well you recover mentally and emotionally. When you sleep, your muscles can relax deeply, which helps your nervous system better process the events of the day, store memories, and get ready for the challenges and opportunities of the next day. Researchers who study sleep have found that how deeply your muscles relax while you sleep is related to how well you sleep and how rested you feel when you wake up. People who keep their muscles tense while they sleep, which can happen because of stress, bad sleep positioning, or sleep disorders, often wake up feeling less rested and may feel more tired and tense during the day. Knowing how important it is for your muscles to relax for good sleep can help you make habits and do things that help this natural process. Making your bedroom a place where your muscles can relax by using supportive pillows, soft bedding, and the right temperature can help them switch into their restorative mode more easily. Making a bedtime routine that includes activities that help your muscles relax, like gentle stretching, progressive muscle relaxation, warm baths, or massage, can also help your body get ready for sleep. These methods work with the natural intelligence of your muscles instead of against it. Your body's muscles are now ready to show off how well they can heal and grow. Your postural muscles are ready to stop being on guard all day and let your spine relax and realign. Your breathing muscles are ready to relax and get into the slow, deep rhythm of sleep. Your facial muscles are ready to relax and let go of all the expressions and messages that come with being awake. Your heart muscle will keep working hard all night, but it will often do so at a slower, more peaceful pace that helps you rest and heal. Your digestive muscles will keep doing their job, breaking down the food you ate today and getting your body ready for what it will need tomorrow. Your eye muscles will even move in response to your dreams while your body stays still. This is part of the interesting dance of REM sleep. As you relax more and more, remember that your muscles are taking care of you in both obvious and subtle ways. Your muscles are working to fix and strengthen themselves, get rid of the metabolic waste from the day, and get ready for the activities of the next day. They also help your body heal and get back to normal by supporting many processes that keep you healthy and full of energy, such as hormone regulation, immune function, and many others. Your muscles have been with you through everything you've done, and they'll be there for you through everything you do in the future. They've changed to fit your way of life, shown how you feel, helped you reach your goals, and been there for you through both normal and amazing times. They just want to be able to rest, recharge, and get ready for whatever tomorrow may bring. They are showing how wise it is to know when to work and when to rest, when to hold on and when to let go, and when to be strong and when to be weak. As we come to the end of our gentle look at the anatomy of your muscular system and how it affects sleep, I want you to feel a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for these amazing tissues that make up so much of your body and add so much to your life. Your muscles are truly amazing in how complex, smart, flexible, and loyal they are to your health. Sleep well, knowing that your amazing muscles are taking care of you with every breath, heartbeat, and moment of rest and recovery. May the darkness of the night heal your muscles and give them a chance to rest and renew. May they let go of all their stress, tension, and holding on to things. May they relax and get the best, deepest sleep they can. And may you wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed, renewed, and very thankful for the amazing body that carries you through life with such grace, strength, and wisdom. Your muscles will be ready to help you get through another day of moving, expressing yourself, and experiencing things. They will be stronger and more rested after a peaceful night of sleep. Now is the time to rest. Your muscles will do what they do best: keep you safe while you sleep, repair themselves for tomorrow's adventures, and show off once again how smart and wise the human body is. Good night and sleep well, knowing that your amazing muscles will support you.